First, under this new law, is it legal or a crime to criticize the national security law? Second, you have repeatedly said that it will be a tiny minority of people who could be prosecuted and targeted by this law. The police have already arrested one person, they've announced that, for violating the new law. Are you anticipating dozens of people being prosecuted? Hundreds? Thousands? Which would still, arguably, statistically, be a tiny minority?
Well, to answer your second question first, I would rather not to be able to, not to arrest or prosecute anybody if everybody abides by the law. The purpose of this piece of legislation is not just to punish, it is also to deter people from committing such serious offenses as secession, subverting the state power, terrorist activities, and so on and so on. So deterrence is very important, and that's why the Secretary for Security has spent some time in his introductory remarks to highlight the penalty under this particular piece of law. So, but I still believe that the great majority of Hong Kong people are law-abiding citizens. They love the country, they love Hong Kong, they want to have stability and prosperity, especially at a time when we are affected by COVID-19. This becomes even more important to have stability for us to relaunch our economy and to preserve and create jobs for the people of Hong Kong. Now, criticism, it comes under freedom of speech. There is a specific reference in the principle of this piece of law under the General Principles, Chapter 1, Article 4, which provides for the Hong Kong SAR to safeguard national security. We should also safeguard human rights and so on, in accordance with the Basic Law and the two international covenants, as far as the relevant provisions that are applied to Hong Kong. But as I have just answered one question already, all these or some of these human rights enjoyed by individuals under the international covenants are not absolute, as the covenant provisions specify. Where it is for the protection of national security, then sometimes some of these rights could be restrained in accordance with the law. Now, but it is clearly stated in Article 4 that people of Hong Kong, they should be able to continue to enjoy the freedom of speech, freedom of press, of publications, protests, assembly, and so on and so on. So if individuals, including reporters from CNN, they are discharging their role and they feel that something is not right, they want to criticize, I don't see why that will become an offense under this piece of law. But of course, if there are more behind it, if you are involved in organizing or colluding and so on, then it's another matter. But at the end of the day, it's a question of evidence and the law.
Well, I would like to add in regard to your question about number. It has been for 23 years that we have a vacuum in relation to protection of national security. It has been a vacuum in the law to tackle people who advocate independence. We will make it a small number, as small as possible. We have this law a long time ago. This is a time when we make this change. I have said that the law actually asks us to also do education. With education, with prevention, and with enforcement, we can turn the tide to let people know that protection of national security is everybody's responsibility, that advocacy for independence of Hong Kong is against the law. That will make the number small. And it's time that we act now so that that number is capped to the minimum. We want to see a zero number at the end of the day. That is what we are now doing. We should all work together to educate people, to make them realize that if we love this place, then protection of national security is an important thing for us all to do so that the number will be the smallest. And eventually, we hope that we don't see any number that need to be dealt with under this law.